For whatever happened in Kawempe, at this moment, if you decide to stay neutral, then you've chosen the side of the oppressor. You know, if you are neutral in a situation of injustice, that means you've chosen the side of the oppressor. If an elephant has its foot on the tail of a mouse and you say that you are neutral, the mouse will not appreciate your neutrality. It's high time we acted as citizens of Uganda. It's high time we came up and demand for justice in our country. The injustices that have been melted on the innocent people, on the peaceful people marching towards the campaign playground has been totally absurd. It's not called for a government that signed to protect its people, a government that signed to provide services to its people, and you melt such injustices to the people, beating the people, breaking their bones, bruises everywhere, you know. People have fainted, and this is not the first time. These things have been happening since 2021 and before that time. The government is determined to kill its citizens so long as they stay in power. You know? So, where you see wrong as a citizen of Uganda and inequality or injustice, please come out and speak out. Because this is your country, Uganda. It's your country. This is your democracy. You have to stand up strong, make it, protect it, and pass it on to the new generation, pass it on to the future generation. You know, this is your country and this is your democracy. You have to fight for it, make it, and pass it on to the generations coming. Hmm? What will we tell our children? What will we tell our grandchildren? That this happened when we are watching under our nose. So it's high time everyone acted. Everyone acted. All the good politicians, religious leaders, you know, everyone should come up and condemn such acts in our country. What is happening now is just a reflection of what is going to happen in the future. So our country is derailing from the seeds of democracy, and what we are going to sow, what we are going to reap is total disaster and total destruction. You know, there may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustices. There may be times when we are powerless to prevent the injustices. So, if we are still stronger now, we need to act. And we need to act now. You know? Because there must never be a time when we fail to protest. The only weapon we have as civilized citizens is to protest the injustices that are melted upon us by the government. We don't blame anyone, we blame the supreme leader. We blame General Museveni for what is happening. Why would you break people's bones? You know, why would you break people's bones? This is an election, it is it is, you know, it is in line with the laws of our land. Citizens have to vote for candidates that they deem fit to represent them. So if you come up and try to take away the small rights that they have, it means that you are trying to jeopardize and destabilize and disorganize the community setting. It doesn't stop there. It is going to go to the schools. It will escalate from there to schools, you know, to children, to families, to communities. And when you look at the people who come to force law and order, these people look like thieves. They look like robbers. You know, they look like rebels. They don't look like people who are willing to give us peace. They don't look like people who are, you know, who are gazetted to protect the citizens of Uganda. Number one mandate for any security that is gazetted for the Constitution of Uganda is to protect the citizens of Uganda and their property. My question is, where was the protection when harmless people are being broken into pieces? Where was the protection when the people's voices have been, you know, stamped on? You know? So, as the saying goes, that the bad man desires arbitrary power, and what moves the evil man is the love of injustice. And and Uganda, we are embraced. You know, we are embraced with the greatest country under the sun. We are embraced with the greatest country under the sun. But the kind of leaders we have, they are stuck in the past. The kind of leaders we have, you see them even when they're executing their mandate. They try to employ the tactics of the 1980s. They try to employ the tactics of the 1980s of intimidation, arrests, torture, robbery, killings, and all sorts of evil things you may think of. So, as Ugandans, we must rise up. We must shine up, fellow Ugandans and fellow comrades. Yes, we all know and understand that it is possible to become discouraged about the injustice we see everywhere in our country. It is very possible. Many of us, many people have been discouraged, you know, have been discouraged about the injustice that are happening in our country. But we should remember that God did not promise us that the world would be humane and just. He gives us the gift of life and allows us to choose the way we will use our limited time on earth. So let us choose what we want to be. You know, this limited time we have to use it wisely. Let those people who are practicing injustice not ride on us. Let us push for justice, because no one will come and push for it, and no one is going to give you freedom for free. Freedom, you must fight for it. Freedom, you must sacrifice for it. Freedom, you must endure a lot of pain. In the fight for freedom, many will be killed. In the fight for freedom, many will be tortured. Many will be imprisoned. Many will be, deformed. Many people will be broken. Bones will be broken. Others will disappear without traces. But all in the fight for freedom, justice, democracy. General Museveni will never give us freedom on a silver plate. We have to fight for what? We have to fight for the right thing. We have to stand up for the right cause and not let General Museveni silence the voices of those people who have sacrificed their lives to fight for the voiceless. I've come to understand that the only time most people think about injustices is when it happens to them. We keep on telling people every day that many people are being abducted, many people are being tortured, many people are being killed, many people have disappeared without traces, like the likes of John Bosco Chibalama, the likes of Damulira, and many more. We keep on telling these people that nasty, evil things are happening in our country, but they don't listen to us. They simply say that we call for such evil. They simply say that we are the trouble causers.